Lindsay, how are you? Thank you so much for the dream interpretation request. I'm happy to get to it. It's me, Jesse Lyon at Lyon Mental Health, here to help with the dreams. You mentioned a few things in here that I think are really interesting, and I'm actually glad at the very end you talked about the muscle relaxers you're taking because of recent surgery or recent injury, you said. Those actually can, you're right, have a very big impact on the way that we dream. When there's different chemicals inside of our mind, it's going to affect the way that our mind is operating when we're asleep. Think about it like, painkillers can really, especially when you're getting on them or getting off of them, can really affect our moods, including depression. I've worked personally with a lot of individuals who have struggled with depression getting off of painkillers. So these same kind of medications that are changing the way that we're receiving pain signals or sending signals to our muscles are also going to change the way that our emotions are interacting, the way that our brain is interacting when we're asleep. So that's a good point. But for the sake of this dream interpretation, let's kind of hold that to the side, right? Let's pretend like that's not happening and interpret it anyway, because it could just kind of be your brain just dumping whatever is going on during the day. But let's get some meaning to it, because I do think the fact that there's kind of a storyline to it sort of indicates to me that there's probably some emotional significance to the symbols that are taking place here. What I mean by that is, like, if you think about a fever dream, it's all disconnected and there's no real cohesive story to it. It's kind of all over the place. So you can kind of tell that's not really emotionally significant. That's probably just a reaction from our brain to what our body's going through. So yes, the reason you probably remembered it is because of the medication, but I think there's still some significance here. So let's get to it. I'm going to read it and then we're going to get to the interpretation. I've talked long enough. First off, I hardly ever remember my dreams. So you said it was perplexing. This is what happened. In the dream, I was back on a university quad and a flash mob broke out. Then Will Ferrell appears. He's leading it. Then my significant other shows up and is leading me through the whole thing, and eventually gets down on one knee, and I'm feeling giddy but also nervous. He's holding a box, and when he opens it, it's a pair of glasses that I have been looking at buying as my next daily pair, very specific color, etc. And I remember feeling relieved and thinking it was hilarious. Is there anything to this, or is it just the muscle relaxers? Yeah, very, very cool stuff. So let's start symbol by symbol, right? When you're in a university quad, anytime that there's a school, university, you're kind of going back to a place of identity formation. When we're in school, we're trying to learn how we fit into the world. We're trying to understand like what our next steps are, trying to figure out what career you want to choose, these kind of really big life-altering personality type of decisions. So this fact that it's in your university quad, kind of this center point even of the personality forming setting, I think is significant. And then there's this flash mob. I think that's got a lot to do with community, a lot to do with fun. If we're thinking of the same flash mobs where you're like dancing and stuff, that's fun, right? And then Will Ferrell's there. Even more compounding symbols of fun, comedy, whimsical, following emotions. You think about Will Ferrell in any of his movies, probably the interaction you've had with Will Ferrell is watching his movies and stuff. So that's probably the symbol that means for you. I mean, if you knew Will Ferrell personally, Will Ferrell might symbolize something different for you, but I'm assuming we've got a similar connection with Will Ferrell here. So fun, enjoyment, emotion-centered comedy, right? That's kind of the symbol here. But then significant other shows up and starts to guide you through this flash mob. Now, for me, as I'm reading this and kind of intuiting sort of your connection here, your significant other probably has a lot to do with confidence, probably with, not really authority, but like making assertive decisions. Your significant other probably does some of that for you as I'm kind of like listening to what your dream is telling you here. And so your significant other is going to kind of be that symbol for you. It's not really your significant other. It may have some elements of that, but really it's your own projection of assertiveness, confidence, making decisions, kind of moving forward, that guiding figure inside of you, not necessarily your significant other. And so this guiding part of yourself, this more assertive part of yourself, gets down on one knee, very classic American, I'm about to propose, huge commitment type thing, opens a box and it's glasses. So there's kind of a commitment to this change in perspective. Remember, you're in the university quad, you're with your significant other, there's all these people around, all this, Will Ferrell, fun, whimsical stuff. You're nervous but giddy. And so this dream for you is, I don't know what it is because I am not a mind reader. I'm just a dream interpreter. But there's something going on in your life where you're sort of playing with this idea of a new perspective, a new way of being, a new part of yourself that's coming out and is ready to kind of live life, a more fun-loving part of yourself, a part of yourself that's more emotional and honest and real. And, you're kind of nervous about this change, but also excited because it's more the childlike part of you that you're letting out. And so my suggestion, right? This dream, take those glasses, put them on, accept that commitment to a new perspective and start living your life from that new perspective, because I think it has a lot to teach you. And I think your mind, those positive feelings that you have, it's ready to take that step. And I'm really excited for you for that step. That's kind of awesome. So, hey, I hope this helps. I hope this gives you some insight into your dream. If there's anything else I can do, please, I'm going to send this to you in email. So send me an email back if there's any other questions that you have. Thank you again so much for being a part of this community, supporting me in what I do, and hopefully you get some benefit from it too. Until next time, peace.